Rebecca Massicotte, Red Fox Medical Courier Delivery Service. I have watched you expand this business to a national dominant brand. Thank you for sitting with me because I think yours is one of the most interesting entrepreneur stories about how to take a company from one state, one or two clients to nationally dominant brand. Let's talk.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you just got another big deal and are looking at another maybe growth through acquisition deal.
That's, yes. And I just got off on a phone call, 90-minute call a little bit ago from one of my, clients that I picked up about 5, 6 years ago. And they're astonished with our growth. In fact, they keep hinting very strongly, when are you going to buy us? And even today they were asking, what are your tricks? What are you doing? What's going on? Right. And these are three grown men who've been in the industry for 20 years, who were in the military together. And they're asking, I felt like little old me, right? This little blonde, who's half of one of you, what my tricks are to handle the growth with keeping our revenue down.
To growing a business from a handful of employees to multi-state and oh gosh. So I can only imagine the logistics involved of a specialty medical courier delivery service and all the requirements and HIPAA and whatever must come in play there. So how do you go from growing a company, because you bought it from a bottom pop operation, right? And then you took it and just ran with it. How do you go from that to a multi-state nationally dominant brand?
Well, it first starts with, when I had in the very beginning, it was a general delivery company. And again, you don't know what you don't know. And I quickly discovered medical laboratory courier that was very, for my brain, it was consistent. It was reliable, something I could budget, I could forecast, I could plan around. And we dove into it pretty hardcore, and we did a complete rebranding of the company. And when we did the rebranding, that was the decision to just go all in on healthcare. And that's been just extremely successful for us, particularly because we have just developed really good SOPs. We can drop a team in any state, in any city, not even be there, and do training remotely, hiring remotely, and set up. If it's a storage locker with supplies, we can do everything through our SOPs that I'm no longer even involved in, which has been fantastic, I can say.
So you've done that dream of instead of working in the business, and you're working on the business. So you're not doing all the turning of the riches anymore.
No,
You're not doing all the hiring of the drivers and the personnel.
no, I just got out of that one last piece that I was holding on to, which was driver hiring. And actually, one of my own drivers saw the ad, and she's come on board, and she's still driving for us part-time, and she's hiring for us part-time.
Oh, good.
And so she's got that mental switch in her to be able to identify a good driver.
So you've empowered your team to do their job so that you could grow the business. And I see a lot of entrepreneurs that they get to that 1 or 2 million mark, and then they're still doing all the turning the wrenches. They're still doing all the hiring, firing, payroll, books, operations, sometimes fulfillment. You ever see that?
Oh yeah.
You're like, what are you doing? Why are you're stopping your growth? So now you have a team. I've seen you fly all around the world and not have to take phone calls or emails or anything and get buried like some of us do.
No,
Because you've empowered a team.
I did, and that started with Cape Town. Me doing a entrepreneur global leadership conference and making that commitment to myself to go, and then sitting with my team and saying, I'm going, and I'm going to go, and I'm not going to work.
Okay.
And imagine saying that I'm going to go and be 8 hours in time difference, and I'm not going to be available. I'm going to check it. I'm going to check in to make sure the house is not on fire. But you're gonna, you're running this.
Yeah, I love it. That's perfect. What's the what was the moment when you were growing and scaling? What was the moment you realized like that you had something big and that you were gonna? Is there a breakthrough moment or something that happened? Or
I would say it was feeling empowered that I can do this anywhere. Like we had good SOPs and we were following them. But most importantly, I was just starting to get respect in my space in the industry. Um, I was starting to get referral business, which was really nice. And our brand recognition was starting to come into play. And that just came with time, right? Through committing to a LinkedIn campaign, committing to social media, creating to content. Um, and I am the true entrepreneur at heart. I thought I could do it all and save the buck. But all right, it doesn't work that way. You could tell yourself that all day long. It doesn't work. You got to hire somebody.
yeah, yeah. No, it's incremental, and then once you realize it's too big, you have to commit to hiring people
You do.
to take over and help.
And you just have to, and I've definitely have dove into the belief that we cannot be the master of everything, right? We cannot be the entrepreneur that does the IT, does the hiring, does the ops, does the accounting, does that wants to do everything. But we can't because we spread ourselves too thin that we actually don't have the energy to give back to our business and to create, right?
Yeah.
That's where the magic happens, right? Is when you step away. When you step away from your business, you let your mind flow.
Why do you think so many entrepreneurs get stuck and don't hire? Is it money? Is it ego? Somebody will do better than them?
I think it's habit routine, and it's also
Can't get out of their way?
you can't get out of your own way. But I would actually even go further than that. It's who you're surrounding yourself with, right? If you're surrounding yourself with non-other entrepreneurs or regular W-2 employees that are just doing the same thing, right? You fall in line with that belief and that mentality. As soon as you surround yourself with other entrepreneurs that are
Have a team that's doing the work for them.
and looking at you like you got 8 eyeballs because you're fielding you got 2 phones in your head, your text messages.
Oh, we know some of those, don't we?
They're looking at you like, don't you have employees? Yeah, I do. Well, do they work?
Yeah, yeah, no, we know some of those, and they hit that like 1, 2, 3 mil, they're stuck, and they're on the phone all day.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable, but it's true. It happens. You, however, found a team. You delegated. You have grown. Has allowed you to take on more clients, more states, more. You're just on a trajectory. It's amazing to see. And like it's good to be in your orb because like there's so much good going on and see you coming up and new things happening. What's the thing that like it right now like it keeps you awake at night, or that you worry about, or that you are concerned for or excited about?
Little nervous right now. Next week we do a big customer launch here in Tampa. Probably our single largest launch at one time. Usually they would stage things out, but right now the customer wants us to do basically all of Tampa Bay plus out to Orlando, and one day we're gonna launch it all. So that's a team of 20 drivers going in place, and we have to we handhold our team very closely, and that is our biggest secret sauce is the hand holding of our drivers. They're not alone. They are felt. They are communicated with, over communicated. They know we're watching them.
Okay.
They are not, and it's through that we succeed so well.
Good. I'll read that. So your excitement's in taking on the new client, but you know you'll be able to do it. So it's just in the logistics of implementing the new.
It's implementing, right. I was just talking to my ops manager, and she's like, "We're not ready for Monday." I'm like, "Yeah, we are." She's like, "No, we're not." And I'm like, "Yeah, we are." All right. Because she's like, she's worried. And then she goes, "Okay, I think we are." Right. It's being positive, right? I'm scared. Like, great. I'm scared of Monday. but I'm not. I know we have I know we have a team. I know we have good people. I know we're going to continue to hire. And what's great right now is I'm not losing sleep over it.
Okay.
I'm not losing sleep, which is fantastic. Normally I would be.
For for a young or just starting out logistics person who's across the country, not competing against you, say they're in California, that's one area you don't want to deal with.
I'm not touching California, Oregon, Washington.
But you're from LA.
That's okay. They have great tacos. I will fly in. I'll get some tacos. I'll give my mom a kiss, and I'll say goodbye.
So so let's say somebody's watching this, they're getting into logistics, they're setting this off. You're one of the top logistics companies in the country. You've built a nationally dominant brand. They're going to what does Rebecca have to say to a logistics up and coming company? They're just getting started. What kind of advice do you give about somebody starting up and implementing a logistics company like yours?
Join a state or national association, without a doubt. That really helped my business.
Okay.
That gave me my very first big customer. That also gave me mentors that I didn't know that I needed, and that I still speak with and work with to this day, 9 years later. Is find those associations and get involved. Don't just become a member, but attend the conferences, attend the calls, be engaged.
Okay.
There's so much business that flows around between us that you could pick up business very easily by just joining an association and getting involved.
Okay. I like it. Surround yourself with peers in the business.
Absolutely.
No matter what it costs, get in the group.
Get in the group.
Go to those lunches, go to those meetings, go to those happy hours.
Go to them.
And ask questions and make connections.
Absolutely. I mean, there's just so much knowledge.
Is there a certain logistics or software or thing that like a logistics company can do to set up, to automate? Like, is there something you would say is essential to the technical side of your business that helped you a lot?
Don't overcomplicate it.
Keep it simple.
Don't overcomplicate it. There's so much technology out there. We get lost in the weeds. Definitely ask around who's using what. There's lots of resources for that. Let's start something simple, right? You don't have to get in and have a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 software. You can get in and have a software that's under $1,000 that you can work with for years.
Okay. Gotcha. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. That's where you would get in trouble, overcomplicating it, right?
There we go. That's right. So, all right. So that brings me to one of my final questions, but it doesn't have to be the final question, is if you had to start over today, this is going to segue because you're already answering that. If you had to start over today, what would you do or not do? You said I joined the association.
Yeah. When I first had the company, I was out there doing routes, right? And it was good, but it was also bad. I stayed in that role too long. I stayed in the role, and it was because I wanted to save money, right? I wanted to save money, and I was being short-sighted on that. And realistically, that was not the right path. I should have gotten out of that role and hired somebody to do that route 6 months, a year earlier.
So you should identify the moment that you could afford to hire somebody, and then you could have focused on growing the business.
Yeah.
Instead of working in the business, you could have been up here working on the business.
Yep.
Okay.
So I definitely would not encourage someone to think you can be a driver and grow the business.
Okay.
You can't.
Okay. Good advice. So you can sweep the floors and you can wear several hats for a while, but once you start making money, you have to reinvest in your business.
You have to reinvest, and it's easy to spend money very quickly. It's harder to identify ways to save it, and we've been very successful in finding ways to save money to reinvest into the company, and that's just being smart and doing research. Like, don't ask your buddy next door, right? Don't ask your
Pay somebody in the business.
Yeah, ask somebody in the business.
And Google and ChatGPT are your friend, right?
Absolutely. I love Gemini.
Gemini, okay.
I love Gemini. Gemini's great. Perplexity's a little, and I'm trying to play with Gronk.
Yes.
Gronk, Gronk's just fun.
How about DeepSeek? Have you used DeepSeek yet?
No, I'm not gonna. It's DeepSeek and TikTok and me are not hanging out together.
Have you used Claude, this new AI recorder? I'm recording this
No,
conversation.
but I see you either buying me one or sending me the web link.
Your magic balls predicts that?
Yes, I do. She does your bomb.
Okay,
Clayton's buying me a present.
take notes. Rebecca wants a plug, so now this will remind me tonight to be like, remember your task list. Just send Rebecca. Okay, good. Is there anything else you want to tell us about Red Fox and your journey in building nationally dominant logistics brand?
Yeah, so we're on the journey of M&A right now, and I'm scared. I'm nervous. Right.
Growth through acquisition. So you're looking at absorbing other logistics delivery service firms out there in the states that you cover, and
It can be a state we don't even cover.
okay,
We're
just not California.
California, Oregon, or Washington.
Okay, so no, sorry about that, California or Washington.
Sorry. But your loss.
But if somebody's looking, if it's a mom and pop operation, they've been having this delivery service business, and they have a good client base, a good, you're looking to do growth through acquisition,
Yes.
and you're entertaining, you're making offers and doing due diligence, and you have cash quick to close, like you can make it easy transition for a company because you've done this before.
That's what I'm doing right now. And that's what I'm doing in the business right now.
Good.
Other than high level conversations, or my day is spent really learning more about the financials on how to do this. What to look for specifically in everybody's P&Ls and all the financing options that are out there. I'm looking at what I learned is a facility loan. I mean, and again, that's EO, right? I mean, it's through your networking, it's through your groups, right? Learning these different weird loan options that is not an SBA.
Okay.
So we're not going the SBA route. We're gonna find other angles to make it.
One way
There's more than one way to skin a cat.
and then you could do a combination, I imagine, on when you're doing acquisitions, that there's all kinds of different creative ways of financing, earnouts, and keeping the seller on board for a certain period of time until which time they want to go or retire or whatever. So you've been very good at that, and I see a lot more activity coming your way on that, probably because there's a lot of silver tsunami folks owning those businesses. I imagine you're going to be 10x here in the next 5 years.
The goal is to be sold in 5 years.
I was like saying, well, 10x it in itself.
The goal is to be having a month or a summer vacation in the south of France or Italy.
So you're within 24 months, 48 months, you're entertaining offers, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Out there.
I would say actually, yeah, 36 to 48 is where we're officially going to market.
All right, we're putting that out there.
It's coming.
All right.
And that also was important to my team, is for them to understand where we're going, and that we're not growing just to grow. My team knows we're growing to sell. And that may not be for everybody's company and everybody's cultural.
It's kind of natural.
But for where we are at, it's not a hidden secret.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's good. Think of it's a natural progression of like get it to where you kind of like max it out to where you can do. And it makes sense to like you get bigger and better as you start doing growth and acquisitions and mergers and being acquired.
Yeah. And my team's excited about it. That's what's interesting.
Yeah.
They're not like, oh my gosh, I'm worried I'm gonna lose my job. Yeah. They're excited. Like they're like, all right, who's going next? Where are we going? Like, right? They're excited for it to be part of this journey, and just to be included.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I did the same thing, and kind of like made them part of the processes too in the last one, and like and make sure the buyer is the right fit too. They weren't just gonna come in and sweep the house, and it's one thing for them to come in to replace systems and processes because they implement their own, but the people are key. Well, that's good. So what else is anything else about Red Fox that we didn't hit on that you'd like to say, or
Look for the Red Fox.
Look for the red fox, and you're growing. You're always looking for companies to acquire,
Yes.
drivers to hire,
Drivers to hire.
and you have everything can be done on your website, and they can get in touch with you.
Anything can be done on the website.
There you go.
And most importantly is, we want to find partners.
Okay.
We don't want to find vendors. We want to find partners.
There you go. I like it.
That's what we want.
Okay. Very nice.
Tequila.
Oh, is it happier? Is that time?
Tequila.
Okay. Cut.
Got it. Okay, we're cutting. Cool. Awesome.